Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah and today I want to talk about the foundation of all our knitting projects, the long tail cast on. I want to share with you 3 different techniques on how you can start it and some tips and tricks so that it stays stretchy. First, leave a little yarn tail so that you can comfortably cast on. Then bring your left hand's thumb and index finger to a C form together and drape the yarn over the thumb and your index finger. The tail yarn should hang in the front, so over the thumb, and the working yarn, which is connected to the ball, should hang in the back, so over the index finger. Use your other fingers to get a hold of your strands against your palm. Keep a light grip to it, just enough to hold it in place. So I apologize because this is rather difficult for me to explain, but you have to insert your needle from behind and then you're going to twist it clockwise to create your first twisted stitch. I will show you again. You can see that I come with my needle from behind to this yarn strand and then I'm twisting it around clockwise to create this first twisted loop on our needle. Now we are going to lean the needle to the back and you can see we have formed a slingshot here. This position is the starting point for our long tail cast on. Now insert your needle through the loop on your thumb, then grab the yarn from your index finger and pull the yarn through the thumb loop to create your first stitch. To pull this first stitch tight, you release your thumb from the loop, then swing it back over the yarn to tighten the stitch slightly. I promise it's so much easier than it sounds. So if you lose your 2 strands, you don't have to worry. I will show you how you can place it back on your fingers. So come with your index finger and thumb again in between the yarn tails, and then you're placing the yarn like before over the index finger and thumb and holding the 2 yarn strands with the other fingers in place. Then you're going to swing it back to create the slingshot form again. So then, like before, you are inserting your needle under the loop from your thumb and then you are grabbing the yarn from your index finger and pulling it back out through the loop on your thumb. Release the yarn from the thumb and then you are going to tighten a stitch up with your thumb. So then again, position the 2 yarn tails over your fingers, bring it back to the slingshot form, and then you're repeating the steps from before. Insert your needle through this loop, grab the yarn from the index finger, and then you're going to pull it out through the loop. Release the yarn from the thumb and pull it tight. You will see with each time you practice this cast on, you will become faster and faster, and in no time at all you can work it blind. So for your first stitch you can also work with a slip knot. So for a slip knot you are going to wrap the yarn around your fingers and then you're going to pull this yarn out through this little loop, and then you are going to place this loop we just created on our needle. See? So here I want to show you another way to tension your yarn around your hand. So bring a yarn in between your little finger and ring finger over your hand and then wrap it around twice over your index finger. And the yarn tail, you're going to wrap it around your thumb, and this little yarn tail, you're going to hold it with your middle finger and your ring finger. And then we are having the slingshot position again. And from this position, we are starting our cast on like we did before. So insert your needle through this loop on your thumb. Grab your yarn from your index finger and then pull it out through the loop, and then you're going to pull it tightly. So and now I'm going to show you the third way. These little things here are from my nails because I grabbed the yarn a bit too tight. So bring your yarn in between your little finger and ring finger, over your hand, wrap it around your index finger, and then you're going to bring the yarn underneath your thumb and wrap it around. And you're going to hold this yarn tail with your middle finger and ring finger. And now you have something that looks like this. So let me show you again. Bring a yarn in between your little finger and ring finger, over your hand, and then you wrap it around your index finger. Bring your yarn underneath your thumb, wrap it around, and then you're holding your yarn with your middle finger and ring finger. So for your first stitch, you insert your needle through this loop on your thumb, grab your yarn from the index finger, pull it out through the loop, release the loop from your thumb and pull it tight. So now we are going to repeat the steps from the long tail cast on. Form the slingshot, then you insert your needle through this loop on your thumb, grab your yarn from the index finger, pull it out through the loop and then pull the stitch tightly. So when I say pull the stitch tightly, I don't mean to do this, to pull it really tightly, because this is not the correct way. This way your cast on will get so tight that it has no stretch at all. So let me show you a little trick on how you can pull the stitch tight without making it too tight. So when you're working your cast on or your stitch, before pulling it tight, place your finger in between the last two stitches to ensure that there is a space in between the stitches. Let me show you again. See, I'm placing my index finger from my right hand in between the last two stitches to ensure that there is a little space in between the stitches. So this way I have enough stretch between the stitches, or enough yarn to ensure I have stretch. So I'm going to work a few stitches where I keep in mind that I want to have enough space in between the stitches, so I can show you the difference between the last stitches and the first stitches we have worked, because the first 4 stitches we have worked, I pulled the yarn tight on purpose so that you can see the difference. So now let's compare the first and the last stitches. You can see that I have a really hard time moving this first few stitches we have casted on because I pulled it tight. So the last stitches are sliding over the needle really easy because I did leave a little bit space in between these stitches. So another thing I wanted to show you is that when you cast on, you have already worked your first row of your knitting project. So this is actually your right side, the knit side. When we turn it around, you can see that you have all these little bird bumps, which indicates that this is the wrong side of our knitting project. So if your pattern says cast on and knit 15 centimeters, the next row after casting on would be a wrong side row, meaning you should purl it. So I will purl quick one row and then show you the right and the wrong side again. After purling a row, you can see our first row. These little knit stitches are our long tail cast on. We didn't knit the stitches, this is our cast on. And you can see that this is the right side from your knitting project. And when we turn it around, you can see all these little bird bumps at the back, which shows us that this is the wrong side from our knitting project. So another thing that I wanted to share with you is how to know how much yarn you will need. To estimate the length of your yarn, you can use a simple rule. Set aside 4 times the width of your finished project. For example, if your knitting project will be about 25 centimeters or 10 inches, measure out about 1 meter or 40 inches for your cast on. This method ensures you will have a tail that is long enough for your cast on and also leave enough yarn for weaving in the end later. So that's already it for today's tutorial. Thank you so much for dropping by to watch the video. If you have any questions, don't hesitate and leave a comment down below. I will answer all of your questions. So thank you again. Take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Until next time. Bye.